had to sleep on a wooden floor, no tables or chairs. Training was 6 hours a day. Sometimes it'd be 7 days a week. We'd go months at a time, going with no break.
Wow.
It was very hard on the body, physically and mentally very tough. I fought on the King's birthday, which had over 100,000 people. Really surreal. We'd have to get a police escort through the crowd to get to the ring. So living in poverty really makes you strive to want to achieve greatness. The hardest part about fighting is every opponent, after every win, the opponents get harder. So you have to really believe in yourself. Fitness is such an important part. You can have all the tools in the world, but if you're not fit to execute those tools, you're wasting your time. I remember getting a phone call from Dad saying, I've just been diagnosed with terminal cancer. So for the next 6-7 weeks, just having Dad in the back of my mind, just realizing this is so important that I win this fight. And all I could think of was, I got to get up, I got to finish this fight.
Yeah.
And then second round, I got dropped again. It's like, get up. I took the laptop to the hospital, and Dad got to watch my fight against Georges St-Pierre, and even though I lost, he put his arm around me and gave me a hug. He said, mate, that was amazing.
It was amazing.
Even though you lost, I'm so proud of you, the way that you got back up and you kept fighting. So
yeah.
You made me very proud. 35 years in the sport. I didn't want to retire.
Hey guys, we've got a real treat today. For Muay Thai and fight fans around the world, this man needs no introduction. And for those of you that are new to our sport, please allow me to introduce you to the 10-time former Muay Thai world champion, one of the greatest fighters to ever come out of Australia, and one of the first, if not the first Caucasian that moved to Thailand and truly mastered the noble art. John Wayne Parr is a living legend. He had 149 fights, and throughout his career, he showed absolute grit and determination, and he did so with integrity, real values. In the fight game today, smack talk takes you a long way, but John Wayne Parr showed us that wasn't necessary. And because of that, he is one of the most beloved fighters on the planet. Wayne, it was an absolute pleasure. I hope you guys enjoyed the chat as much as I did. Thank you. John Wayne Parr, how are you, mate?
I'm good, very well, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to have a chat and talk about my story.
I'm so excited. Well, for those that might not know, your actual name is Wayne. You became John Wayne a little bit later. We'll get into that, but I'm just curious. Growing up in Australia, you actually grew up on a farm, right?
Yes. My parents were horse trainers, so my whole life's been horse properties and dealing with waking up early, going to the track. My father was a jockey, and then he retired not long after and became a horse trainer. So yeah, my whole life has been horses and farms, and that's how the name John Wayne came along, because every fighter in Thailand has a fight name. And when the Thais asked me for my background, I said, I grew up with horses. Oh, so you're a cowboy. What's your John Wayne? Like, oh, that sort of sucks. But then the name stuck. And so, and then because it's such a famous name, it's really easy for people to remember as well. So for the last 30 years, I've been John Wayne now. So it's very cool.
Well, listen, he's the most famous cowboy of all time. So it kind of dovetailed nicely into you becoming one of the most famous Muay Thai fighters of all time, right?
Yeah, that was the plan. If you can take on a good name, hopefully good things will happen.
Well, as they say in Thailand and in Japan, karma is very important, right?
Oh, very big, yes.
So what happened? What's your story? How did martial arts find you?
Well, when I was a kid, growing up on farms, my parents would start work early, so I'd be watching their TV, and then there was shows like Monkey Magic and Karate Kid and Van Damme.
Oh, man. Which was the biggest influence? Was it Monkey Magic back in the day?
Oh, that was my first memories of Monkey Magic was definitely he was the one that instilled the good guys can beat the bad guys with good martial arts.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to be the protector. If anyone ever got in trouble, I wanted to be the guy that come in and save the day. So, and then as I got older, the Karate Kid came along, and he was a story about a kid being a new kid. Growing up, we moved a lot as a kid, and I went to 11 different schools.
Wow.
So, and then watching the Karate Kid being the new kid in school and being picked on by the bullies, and how he learned martial arts to defend himself. And I said, I want to follow in this gentleman's footsteps. And then not long after that came out, the movie Kickboxing with Van Damme came. Oh. And then he's a gentleman that goes to Thailand and fights the Thais and becomes a legend. So I got to go to Thailand. This is my new destiny now. I want to follow in Van Damme's footsteps. So yeah, so Van Damme was definitely the hero of my childhood.
Me too, mate, all the way. In fact, I'm just curious, what are your top three Van Damme movies?
Oh, that'd have to be so kickboxer for sure, blood sport, and probably double impact with the when he played the twins.
Oh, mate, that's what actually that inspired when I first went to Hong Kong. I wanted to go and check out all the different places where they filmed that. And
Hey,
oh man, he was in amazing shape for that. So,
oh for sure.
how did you meet Richard Well to and
Richard
how,
Bell.
yeah,
So I was gonna fight my very first Thai, and then we had a Thai friend associate, and then he said if you're gonna fight a Thai, you need a Thai trainer. So he introduced me to this other gentleman, and his name was Saki, and then Saki said, I have a friend that owns a restaurant. I can get you your first sponsorship if you like. So we go and meet Richard, and Richard said, oh, for a sponsorship, you're more than welcome to come to my restaurant once a week to come and eat for free. And then I only live 10-minute walk away from the restaurant. So every day I go for a walk and go and speak with Richard and sit in the kitchen. And as he's preparing the food and getting ready for today's craziness, yeah, he just talk about Thailand and this mystical place where the national sport's fighting. It's like this can't be true. This is too good. This is amazing. And then they talk about living in the Thai camps and very they have the Thais lived in poverty, and he was trying to prepare me for it's going to be very hard, but at the same time the rewards will be very very substantial. Um, so, but he said if you want to go over, you can't just go for 1 week or 1 month because as soon as you come back to Australia again, you're going to fall back into the old system. But if you stay 6 months or 12 months, and then the techniques will become muscle memory.
mm,
So the first time I went over was 6 months, and I had 5 fights for 5 wins. And then the following year, Richard said, "Okay, we're not going to go with 6 months. Let's go for 1 year this time." So I went for another full year. I ended up having 9 fights that year for 6 wins. I ended up winning the strongest Westerner in Thailand for 1997.
amazing.
Getting the fight on Pena 3 times and fighting on the King's birthday and fighting on these massive shows outside where they had crowds up to 100,000 people.
Well,
Yeah, so it was,
people don't understand that because there the fights are for free, right? Largely,
yes,
and
yes.
because people are making money on the bets, so it's
And the promoter makes money from the TV rights, so he
yes,
can put a show on in the middle of the country, and people will drive for hours. See, the first time I fought for Songshai, we had a crowd of 40,000 people, and then the second time I fought for him, it was outside of event again, and we had 60,000. And then 6 months later, I fought on the King's birthday, which had over 100,000 people to come and celebrate the King and the Thailand, and it was just a massive festival that they had a concert on this side of the park, and then they had a dancing and something else over here, and then they had the Thai boxing in the middle. So yeah, it was just
like a
and it's an
festival.
opportunity for the Thais to see the greatest Thais versus the greatest Westerners. And so people come far and wide to come and be part of the festivities. It's yeah, really surreal. The first time I did it, there was no catwalk, so we'd have to get a police escort through the crowd to get to the ring. So it'd take
No
like
way.
15 minutes to try and walk through everybody. Excuse me, coming through. Excuse me, excuse me. And then yeah, it was so surreal, but yeah, very exciting at the same time. Being
So,
especially being the white guy in Bangkok.
of course. Well, the thing is that for those that might not know, you first went and you were in Pattaya for a bit, but then if I'm correct, you fell under Moma Bulbud,
Yes.
and he became obviously Richard helped you with that journey. But how important was Moma to your journey? You know, really becoming embraced and within the Thai culture and ingrained in it.
Yeah, well, the first 3 months I stayed at Sijitong, and that's a very famous gym and one of the first gyms to allow Westerners because in before I got there, the Westerners were frowned upon. They didn't want to teach the Westerners Thai style because they didn't want the Westerners to beat the Thais in the future.
Yeah,
So all the Thais were very like, no, 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 no Westerners, no Westerners. And Sijitong was the first to accept. And then Sang Ten Noi, who lived in Bangkok, he came and fought in Australia, and he came over, had a win. He met Richard, and then after corresponding with Richard for a little bit, Richard asked him, oh, "I have my fighter in Thailand right now. Is there any chance you can pick him up when you get back to Thailand?" And then they're first like, "Oh, I'm not sure," but thankfully they accepted. They came and picked me up as soon as they arrived back home. And then yeah, it was a full culture shock going from Pattaya to Bangkok, where the camp was uh, very poor.
It's
So
very
we had this
basic, right?
very
Very
basic.
basic.
Had to sleep on a wooden floor. I just put a blanket on top of the wooden floor for a little bit of support. No sit down toilet. We had a squat toilet. No toilet paper. Had to use the water, the bucket into the hand.
Yeah.
And sitting on the floor for every meal. No tables or chairs. But the training was 6 hours a day, 6 to 7. 3 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the afternoon, depending. And then sometimes it'd be 7 days a week. Some days it'd be 6, some days it'd be 7, depending on where the owner of the camp was. Sometimes he'd want to push us to go 7 days, and we'd go months at a time going with no break. It
Wow.
was very hard on the body, especially when you train Sunday and then Monday comes and you got a whole week ahead of you before there's opportunity to have another break again. So physically and mentally very tough. But then when we fought, it all made sense because we were winning more than we were losing.
Yeah.
So it made all the hard work. And then after a year or so, you start getting a little bit homesick. And then every time I started missing home, I just think, I just have this one more fight. Then I think I might go home.
Okay.
And then I train. I have the fight. I'd win. I'd be on the TV. I'd be in the magazines. All right, where's my next fight? Where's my next fight?
Yeah.
And then once you start training again, it's oh no, I'm now homesick again. So yeah, it was just this continuous circle where you're just stuck in this limbo where you just couldn't get out of the place.
Well, I think, listen, I've seen videos of that old gym and it's tiny. And I remember you saying, correct me if I'm wrong, you said in Thailand, the ring is your classroom.
Yes. That's very good. Very good memory.
Yeah, I remember that because
that.
I just thought that's because nowadays, like people take it for granted and there's all this strength and conditioning training, but you train old school.
Yes, very. And then before fights, we'd buy the flowers to put onto the red and the blue corner to say thank you for helping me prepare for this fight. We'd give flowers and to the ghost houses as well to try and instill good energy.
Explain that because a lot of people don't understand how the wood in the gym in Thai culture, they're meant to be ghosts in the wood.
Yes.
Explain that to the audience.
So when people pass, apparently their souls go into the trees. So and then when you cut down the tree to make the house, sometimes the ghost comes with the wood. And then we had a pole in our bedroom where all the boxes slept side by side. And then the one of the poles was haunted. So they'd put ribbons around it and they put powder on it and they spray it with perfume. It was a female ghost, so they wanted the female ghost to feel pretty. And then at nighttime they would have sleep paralysis where as you're sleeping you'd feel the pressure on your chest and you're awake but you're not awake and you want to try and wake up but you're stuck in this vortex where you want to scream but you're stuck. And then I remember the first time I got held down, I woke up in the morning and I told my Thai trainer, he said, "Oh, that's just a ghost sitting on your chest. If the ghost doesn't like you, the ghost will put his hand or her hand across your mouth and nose and suffocate you in your sleep."
Wow.
It's like, oh, that's not very good. That's a little bit scary. So with the sleep paralysis, I think I was getting held down about 4 or 5 times a week.
Wow.
Sleep was absolutely terrifying. Every time I go to bed, oh, please. And then they were waking up in the middle of the night and it's like in a sweat and the whole business is there.
Well, listen, sleeping, next to other guys in the gym on a wooden floor, plus that, it meant you got no sleep.
Yeah, no, and then the ghost would hit us day or night. So sometimes you'd be having a sleep in the daytime after a hard morning session.
Yeah.
And then boom, you get held down again. So the ghost didn't care what time it was. Yeah, she was rather evil.
What I wanted to draw some parallels with Mike Tyson because he was obviously adopted by Customato, but you had adopted parents in Paul and Ma during your time there. And I'm just curious because that's where you learn to speak Thai, right? And really, I think what people don't realize, you're the first Caucasian to really learn the noble art as a Thai fighter does.
No, thank you.
Just talk about that because I think that's what separates you from everyone else.
I was very lucky when I first got there, I lived in a place called Nonthaburi, and I was the only Westerner in the whole city.
Yeah.
So if I go to the shops, people would point at me. Never seeing a Westerner in real life before, only on the TV. And then Once I arrived, no one spoke English. So I was using hand signals for the first few days. Okay, hungry, shower, sleepy. So, oh no, I really have to learn the language if I want to try and survive long term. So then every day I try and learn 5 words. Okay, what's this? What's this? What's this? And then at night time I go over those words. And the next day I start again. I knew 5 words. All right. And then practice them all day. And then I still remember my first sentence. I want one bag of ice. So walking to the shop, trying to go over in my head, I want one bag of ice. And I'm like, and then to actually get the ice, it's like I got it my first sentence. This is amazing. Yeah. And then from there, progressed, and then now I can sing Thai karaoke.
No problems.
Yeah, yeah,
I
no
love
problems.
it. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's so much fun, and I can watch the TV, watch the game shows and everything, and it's now I feel like a white Thai.
Of course, mate. You are, right? Um,
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about some of the techniques. How did you toughen up your shins? Did you do the old-fashioned thing where you take a Coke bottle, beer bottle, you put
Oh, no.
sand in it, or is it just
No,
kicking pads? Tell us about that.
yeah, our bags were like concrete, so the bags were rock hard,
Bang.
and then the pads were always rock hard as well. So just that continuous training every day, kicking the bag as hard as you can
Yeah.
for round after round after round, and kicking the pads. And then the main one was fighting. So your shins would be completely damaged from all the trauma, and then um, every time they healed, they healed stronger.
Yeah, they
So
get
after
thicker.
100, yeah, after about 100 fights or so, I got to the stage where I could fight Thais for 5 rounds and have zero pain. But yeah, the first 20, 30 fights, you'd be hobbling around for at least 7 days, just to go, oh no, what did I pick this sport for? But then once the shins are conditioned, then it's fun.
Well, look, now that you've retired, you can give away some of your little secrets. But like, what were your top three favorite kicks or elbows? What were your top three favorite techniques?
Oh, I'm a big puncher. I like punching. I found when fighting the Thais, if I tried to go kick for kick, they were too experienced and too
Yeah,
strong. But if I punch first and get them off balance, and then they'd have a hard time trying to block my kicks. So I really favored my hands to set everything up. My kicks are strong, and then I feel I have good defense. One of the main things that my Thai trainer taught me was everyone knows how to attack, but not many people know how to defend. So I got my checks, I got my parries. And that way I can stay in the pocket, still be in range, and still land instead
yeah.
of trying to run away the whole time. So yeah, I think my IQ for my defense is very very strong.
Did you? Well, one of the other things that I remember about you is that you were able to hit the technique of the elbow going up. Most
Yes,
Westerners are only hitting this type of elbow, you know?
yes. And then the with the defense, I'll go back to the defense one. It makes your opponent so frustrated because they're doing everything in their power to try and land. And if you're blocking and then countering and blocking and countering, every time they come in, they're trying to they're getting hurt every time they came in to trying to attack. So and then it starts playing mind games on them. By round one, they come out all strong. Round two, they start downing themselves. By round three, they're running backwards, and that's when you know, oh, I got you. I
I
know I've got
gotcha.
you now. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you're playing that physical game with it, psychological game as well.
Where it takes over, right? When
Yeah,
when when
mental and physical
when
going
you've
each.
been coaching fighters, including your daughter, how important is fluidity versus just power? Because I see a lot of fighters early on in their careers, they're trying to grimace everything and hit everything out rather than using nice, clean techniques. But how important is fluidity in your coaching?
Oh no, definitely. You want to be able to flow. So from punch to kick to knee to elbow, so everything instead of stopping, resetting, stopping. Yeah, and then you need to set traps. So I
Yeah.
need hard punches to set my kicks, to set my knees, to set everything else up, to manipulate the hands, to land elbows. So yeah, it's all trying to think 2 or 3 moves ahead to make them react in certain ways, so you know that you can counter the opposite way.
That's so true in life as well. Even like if you're driving the car, if you know, you've got to think about what's around you. But I think in
Yes.
fighting, what most people don't realize is the world-class fighters, they're thinking three, four, 5 steps ahead.
Yes, I know with certain moves you're going to react a certain way, and once you react that way, I know I can counter on the other side.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all about those traps.
Talk to me a little bit, you know, knowing what you know now, if you look at what it is required to become a world-class fighter, from nutrition to sleep to strength and conditioning, one of the aspects that I think is massively overlooked is the mentality, the mental game going into a fight. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes, I wouldn't say lucky, but living in poverty in the camp, laying on a wooden floor every day for 4 years.
Yeah.
All you can dream of is being successful. I have to be better. I don't want to live on this floor anymore. I want to be able to purchase a house. I want to have a bed. I want to have hot water. I want to have toilet paper.
Yeah.
So just living in poverty really makes you strive to want to achieve greatness. And then with every win, that gives you more confidence and more adrenaline and more excitement for your next one to try and get even better again. The hardest part about fighting is every opponent, after every win, their opponents get harder every time. There's no easy fights.
Yeah.
So, and that's where the mentality comes in. So you have to really believe in yourself. I can spend 8 weeks thinking about what you're going to do to me.
Yeah.
And then when we fight, that doesn't happen that way anyway. Where if I just concentrate on myself, okay, make sure that I'm fit, make sure I'm doing my work, make sure I'm not missing days. If I do miss a day, making sure I'm making up for it with other aspects. And fitness is such a important part. You can have all the tools in the world, but if you're not fit to execute those tools, you're wasting your time. So
and also when you're fighting in for example Lumpini Stadium for the first time, did you fight Joe Louis? Is that your first fight?
That was my second.
Was it your second fight?
My second, yeah. My first one was a gentleman called Dead.
Okay.
Dead Porno Knob. He wasn't it wasn't on TV, so it was a Tuesday night fight. I remember, and when Songchai mentioned, all right, your next fight's going to be at Lumpini. Just the excitement, it was like, oh
Wow.
my God, this is amazing. So then for the next like 6-7 weeks, laying on my floor, just going, I can't believe this is happening. Or all I could think of is my foot touching the canvas, crossing the rope, and my foot touching the canvas. And then in my head, I've already won.
Yeah, because you're there.
I've touched the canvas. I'm the first Australian to ever touch the canvas. And then thankfully, the first 2 rounds wasn't going my way, and I got a little bit of a grilling after the second round. And then the round 3 came out, and I landed some shots. And then you hear the crowd start to change and to start to cheer. And once the crowd starts getting behind you, every time you land a shot, they cheer. Then another shot, they cheer louder. They cheer louder. And all of a sudden, you have this second win where you don't just want to win for yourself, but you want to win for everyone in the stadium as well.
Yeah.
Because they've all got money on you. And then, with the extra energy burst, I managed to stop my opponent at round 4. So getting my first win at Lumpini by knockout. So and then I won my second fight by knockout as well. So.
Well, one of the things, again, talking about pressure, right? Because I've got 3 kids, as have you. And, unfortunately, I think the world that we live in is a little bit soft nowadays. And and I know, tell us about, even when you won, if you were in the car ride home, I'm sure you got blasted. You got a hard time. Like if there are things you didn't do well in the fight, or if you not, I remember you telling a story where you knocked someone out too early and you got blasted for that as well.
Oh, that was the second Lumpini fight that I won.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's all about betting.
Yeah.
So a lot of the Thais will ask you to lose the first and second round on purpose.
Yeah.
And then that way the odds go right up to the opposition, and then round 3 you turn it around and you come back, and then they can make double or triple the money. But I didn't want to play that game. I wasn't confident in my skill set to give away 2 rounds and try and come back the last 3.
Yeah.
Just in case it didn't go to plan. And then for the one that I got in trouble for, I just turned 21 3 days before my birth, about 3 days before the fight. So I turned 21. I had to put a sweatsuit on, had to go for a run in the sweatsuit on my birthday. And then the deal was, if you fight on Lumpini on TV, if you win by knockout, the promoter will give you a gold chain worth approximately 10,000 baht. So it's like, wow, 10,000, my goodness. So all I wanted to do was give myself a 21st birthday present.
Yeah.
So I went out there and went hard from the first round, and ended up getting the stoppage in the second. And then, like you mentioned, on the way home, nobody would talk to me. And I didn't realize what I was in trouble until halfway home. And they said, "Oh, why'd you knock him out so early? Now we couldn't make any money. That fight was a waste of time because we didn't make a single baht. That's all your fault." But luckily, they weren't too angry at me after a couple of days. So things got back to normal again.
Well, going back to the whole mentality, just to explain the technical differences. So when you were fighting, you had to weigh in the day of the fight. You didn't have the luxury of weighing the day before the fight, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yes.
And
so weighing approximately.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry. I weigh in approximately 8 in the morning, and then usually fight at about 9 at night. So about 12 or so hours to rehydrate, and then because the Bangkok traffic is so bad, we just weigh in and hire a hotel for the day, stay in the hotel, and then it was a 10-minute walk from the hotel to Lumpini. So, and then you have air conditioning and a sleep on bed instead of sleeping on the floor for the day of the fight. Yeah, it's a lot more pleasant.
And you had to, did you have to weigh in naked back in the day, right?
Naked, yes. Yes. The nakedness, I forgot about the nakedness. So the very first time I fought Lumpini, I had to strip down, and you see all the Thais trying to do the look around the corner to see if it's true about the Westerners. And unfortunately, it wasn't true. It wasn't true. I let everybody down. I can't even say it was cold because Thailand's hot. I can't even blame the coldness.
I love it. Well, talking about mentality, I think one of the things when you're going up and you fought world-class, A-class guys, you know, the majority of your career, and when you fought guys, for example, Oron, right?
Oron, yes.
You knew there was a possibility that at the end of that night you'd be going to hospital.
Yes.
How do you play with that? Because this is war now, right?
Not just Oron, every fight. Even when you win, you go to hospital. Majority of the time, you might get cut. Arms are smashed, ribs are smashed. The good thing about Muay Thai is it's more body pain than head trauma like boxing. Boxing, they have the one target, whereas at least Muay Thai, sore legs, sore body, sore arms, but maybe stitches. At least the head's not copying that pounding as much as the boxers do. Especially over 12 rounds, we only fight 5, so 5 rounds of punishment. And then in Thailand, if you get cut and can still come back and win, just the feeling of being a warrior is I overcome something like the blood in my eye, and I could still push through and still get the win, and that's a win within yourself too, because you face adversity, and then you can still come out on top. So it makes you feel a lot more. It's more special when you have to go find that person deep down to try and come back and get the victory.
But I've seen some of your fights. You've blatantly got that Rocky mentality where the fight hasn't started until there's blood dripping almost.
Hey,
how many stitches have you had on your face now in total? Because it's a lot.
347.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I usually get them in sets of 5 or 10s. So usually if I like to keep it intact. So if you get 10 or 5 and then 130, 135, 140. And the last one I had a little nick and they only gave me 2. So I went from 145 to 147. And I said, can't you give me 3 more? Can't you make it 150 just to make it nice and even? But I ended up getting 3 in my finger not long after my last fight, which brought it to 350. So yeah, crazy. Yeah.
Well, I won't dwell on this now, but in your last fight in Singapore One Championship, I took my son to watch it, and I was literally in tears. It's the first time I've ever watched a fight when I was crying at the end of the fight, because I knew it was your last fight, and you gave it everything. It was like, and you were coming on at the end. If there was one more round, I think you would have won that fight.
Yes. I remember the first round was very touch and go. Yeah, with the living in Thailand for so long, you soon learn manners. Living in a foreign country and then seeing how the Thais interact with each other. They're always respectful. They're always using their Ys and always saying cup, which means sir or ma'am. And then learning that philosophy and taking that into the normal life. And then with good karma comes back again. So if I'm nice to people are nice to me. So it's and then one of the things that the Thais taught me early in my career was if you smack talk and you lose, it comes back tenfold. So if I say you hit like a girl and then you knock me out, I got knocked out by a guy that hits like a girl. So so it has repercussions. So try not to talk too much. Otherwise, So if I'm fighting, I'd rather talk my opponent up. My opponent's a champion. He's a legend. I'm so thankful for the opportunity. And then if he beats me, I told you he was a legend. I knew he was going to be a hard fight. I didn't expect to win because this guy's such a champion. Yeah. But if I talk him down and say he's nothing, and then if I get beat, it's like
Yeah, it's counterproductive. Can we
Yeah.
talk a little bit about your training and the strength and conditioning and things that you did? What would you say were the key three things that you feel were instrumental in your career and your development as a fighter?
Yes, my main ones was just running, pads, and sparring. I didn't really do much strength and conditioning. Um, the hour that I doing weights, I could be doing more boxing or more kicking
Yeah.
or more clinching. Um, yeah, technique's such a big part of it. So I'd rather rely on good technique and then strength. And then I found when I was doing strength and conditioning, sometimes I'd be so sore the next day that I wouldn't be able to train. And
Yeah.
now it's like you mentioned before, counterproductive where I missed a day. I could be on the road running, but now I'm stuck at home feeling sorry for myself because I can't walk.
What about, when you practice techniques, I'm just curious, um, apart from what you're doing daily, did you study and watch other guys in the gym and on TV and break down what they were doing, try and emulate some of the best of what the guys out there were doing?
Oh, definitely. Always watching, always studying, and then learning from my own fights as well, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. Uh, I was very lucky. I did Muay Thai for approximately 25 years. I retired from Muay Thai, and then I boxed for a year and a half. And then after a year and a half, I missed Muay Thai so much, I came back to Muay Thai. But when I came back, I now had new tools. I learned how to strike a lot better, how to use my body more to generate more power, using my legs, using my footwork. And
Yeah.
once I incorporated that with my Muay Thai skills, yeah, then things just started getting better and better and better.
Well, I remember one of your fights. I can't remember who it was. It could have actually been Oron, where you were doing some devastating uppercuts, like you hit three or four
Yes.
uppercuts in a row. Was it against him?
Joe Louis. That
Oh,
was
Joe
the
Louis was that was it?
yeah.
That was the one.
So Joe Louis landed the uppercuts, and then for Orono, the first time I fought him, he cut me 21 stitches,
Yeah.
and then the second time we fought, it was on 12 hours notice. I was supposed to fight an orthodox fighter, and then at the weigh-in, the promoter said, "Oh, look, I want you to fight Orono tomorrow instead,
Yeah.
who was a southpaw." So, and then I rang my trainer saying, "Oh, bad news. They've just changed my opponent to Orono. This is twice as scary. What should we do?" He goes, "Don't worry. I have a game plan. I'll tell you tomorrow." Tomorrow? I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I need to know now. He goes, "No, I'll tell you tomorrow so you get a good night's sleep." So the next day when I woke up, what are we doing? All right. So today I know you fight Orthodox, but tomorrow I want you to fight Southpaw. I want you to stand the other way. I
And
can't do that.
you'd never fought Southpaw at
I
that
never
point.
fought Southpaw
Yeah.
before. So I practiced in the gym a few times, but I never fought Southpaw. And then to fight a Southpaw being Southpaw, it's like, I'm going to die for sure. So for the next 12 hours, all I could think of was this internal war in my head going, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'll do it for a round. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, maybe I'll just do it. And if I start losing, I'll change back again. And then as I'm walking to the ring, I thought, screw it. I'll just stay Southpaw and see what happens. And then thankfully, it worked very well. Ended up winning by a 5-round decision,
Yeah.
taking Orono's world title in front of 100,000 people live on Thai TV. So it's definitely one of the biggest achievements of my life, and to do it Southpaw made it even more crazy. So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
very
Actually,
good memory.
I don't know if you. It reminds me of Sylvester Stallone. So like he was always a southpaw, and I don't know if you heard this story, but in training for Rocky 2, I think he dislocated his shoulder bench pressing,
Oh,
and
geez.
he had to go and film, and that's why he became an orthodox fighter in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he couldn't throw his left.
That's amazing.
So talk to me about nice dovetail into the Contender, Yoda Sling Kai, and that's where I really fell in love with you because I saw you on TV living here in Singapore because
Hey.
that was a unique opportunity. When did you get the phone call for that? And what happened?
Oh, so they were looking for contestants, and then they made a trailer on YouTube. So the Contender Asia and this new commercial was coming on. So, oh wow, this looks so exciting! I can't wait for this to air. And then approximately a week before the air, a week before it started shooting, somebody got sick or someone had to pull out, and that's when I got the phone call.
Oh,
Hey, John Wayne, in 7 days, do you want to come to Singapore and be part of this TV show? Yes, I would love to. Yeah. And then yeah, luckily it all worked out. And then got to live in Singapore for 9 weeks at the start. So the first week we were just living together in the hotel, doing photos and shots to prepare for the making the title of the series. And then we spent the next 8 weeks with shooting. So every 3 days was an episode. So Monday to Wednesday was one episode, and then Thursdays to Saturday was an episode. So 2 episodes a week, and then we did that for 8 weeks, and then there was a 6 month break between the semi-final and the final.
Oh, I
So
didn't
that
know it
would
was
make
that
it,
long. I didn't know it was that
yes.
long. Wow.
So they edited all the film, and then they aired the first 14 episodes, and then by the time they aired the 14 episodes, we had a live final. So we filled up Singapore Stadium with 12,000 people, and I think it had close to nearly 500,000. No, sorry, 5 million viewers
I
across the
would have
world,
done.
with 130 countries all tuning in, and it was yeah, absolutely surreal.
But
And
no
that was
one,
such a
but wait, no one knew at the time. I didn't know that your dad was, you had cancer going into your last fight, right?
Yeah, that was so
With
bad.
him.
So I'd won the WMC world title in December. So we shot the 14 episodes. I went home to Australia. I managed to squeeze in another fight in between that and the final, where I won the WMC world title. So they got to see me fight for that one. And then as I started preparing for Yod, I remember getting a phone call from Dad saying, "Hey, bit of bad news. I've just been diagnosed with terminal cancer. Unfortunately, there's nothing the doctors can do. All they can do is give me pain medication. So I let that sink in. Give us a call when you're ready." So he hung up, and then for the next 20 minutes, just going, "Oh my
Oh
God."
man.
And then, yeah, so for the next like 6, 7 weeks, just having Dad in the back of my mind and going to visit him, and to see him getting skinnier and skinnier every time I seen him. And
So
I
hard.
went to his house to say goodbye before I went to the airport, and to see a frail little figure came out and to give me a hug. And then that was my last memory of flying to Singapore, and just having that because I was flying to Singapore. It was my first time being away from my family and my friends, and I could just concentrate on Dad for 8 hours as I was flying over, just realizing this is so important that I win this fight.
Yeah.
And then when the fight happened, I got dropped in the first round, and all I could think of was, I got to get up, I got to get up, I got to finish this fight.
Yeah.
And then second round, I got dropped again. It's like, get up, get up. And then round 3 and 4 were a lot more closer. I
Yeah.
started to come back a little bit. And then round 5, I think I won the first round. And then that first half of the round, and then you started to come back the last half. But with the knockdowns, yeah, he definitely
You couldn't.
outscored me. So, and then I lost the fight. And when I came back to Australia, becoming second, I made approximately $40,000. So that gave me a little bit of money to put in the bank, and to I didn't have to go to the gym. I could go and spend the rest of every day with Dad. So I drive to the hospital every day for 3 weeks.
Amazing.
I get there at like 11 in the morning and stay there till 9 at night. And then, yeah, and like I was mentioning before, he's watching Dad get more and more frail, and get to the stage where he's bedridden. He couldn't walk anymore. And then,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's tough. It's
it's
really
tough.
tough, mate. It's so tough. Don't get me started. We'll be in
But
tears.
the best part was, once the final aired, I took the laptop to the hospital, and Dad got to watch my fight against Georges St-Pierre, and even though I lost, he put his arm around me and gave me a hug. He said, "Mate, that was amazing.
It was
Even
amazing.
though you lost, I'm so proud of you, the way that you got back up and you kept fighting. So
Yeah.
you made me very proud." And to hear that from your dad, where he's on his deathbed, was just
Huge.
so special. So I'm
So
very, very
special,
fortunate.
mate. Well, thanks for sharing that. Yoda Sinclair, was he your toughest opponent?
Yes, I got to fight him 3 times. So
Yeah.
so once in Australia, once in Brisbane, once in Singapore, and then once in Melbourne in Australia. So yeah, and every time I fought, I had to go to the hospital to make sure my arm wasn't broken from his left kicks. Yeah, he was a powerhouse.
He really was
his left leg was ridiculous,
lethal.
and he managed to find that same 50 cent piece every single time. Every time he kicked, he'd find that same spot. So every time they go to the hospital, he's not broken. It's okay. So yeah, crazy.
And what was unusual is he like his punches were unusually good for a Muay
Yeah,
Thai boxer because in
and his
that
head
fight in
movement,
Singapore,
his
he
head
put
movement as well. The first time
yeah,
that I fought him, usually my like I mentioned before, my boxing would help set up my kicks. So I'd unleash 4 punches, and Georges St-Pierre go slip, slip, duck, move, and then come back and elbow me. Maybe that was a fluke. I'll try again. Pop, 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 pop. And then he opened the other side. It's like, what's going on? I've never seen a Thai been able to do this before. So he ended up, between the 3 fights, I think he's given me approximately at least 50 to 60 stitches. And then the forearm from his kicks was just insane. So
What makes him unusual? Because when I watched those fights, I was thinking you're on the verge of maybe knocking him out because you had him up against the corner
yeah,
and he hangs back and he's so brilliant. He hangs back right in that moment, and in that moment, it's like he could have got knocked out as well, and then he
yeah,
came back with something,
yeah.
which I think that's what made him so different.
They call him the boxing computer because he downloads all your information and then
Yeah.
then he capitalizes on it. So
Wow.
yeah, he's very. And then I remember the third time walking towards the ring, ready to fight him. All I could think about, oh man, this is gonna hurt so bad. Just knowing in my head. But it was the first time making 40,000 for one fight. So I was
Wow.
like, oh, yeah, at least I'm getting paid. If I'm going to hospital, at least I'm getting paid. So I was like, okay, I don't mind now. Yeah. So yeah, the pain's going to be worth the money.
You're getting $1,000 per stitch, basically, kind of thing.
And then I managed to just beat him on points in the third fight we had to take the world title. So that was another one of my biggest fights ever as well.
That was huge.
To lose twice a yard and to finally beat him in the third fight
That was amazing.
a surreal moment for sure.
Yeah, it was huge. I'm just curious, have you ever trained with any of these guys, after the fights? Have you ever done a Rocky and Apollo and met Yoda Sinclair and done some training together?
Yes, there's a gentleman called Nintagan from Thailand. I fought him 4 times. So he beat me the first three. I finally beat him on the fourth. And then I was fighting Yosinglai in the contender final. And
Yeah.
because my friend Nintagan was Southpaw, I thought, oh, you'll be perfect to help me prepare. So I brought him to Australia. He slept in my house for 6 weeks.
Amazing.
Got prepared. And then, like you mentioned, like the full Rocky, where you fight each other 4 times, and now all of a sudden you're best buddies.
Yeah.
So, and then as a martial artist, there's no grudges. We're all
No
here to help each
grudges.
other. So
Well,
that was the best part.
Well, the reality is you share so much in common with these guys because you have the same dream. You're getting up, you're running at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You live the same life, basically, right?
Yes, and then so sometimes when you're winning a fight, you'll see the Thais in the fifth round. If they know they're winning, they'll put their hand out for the other guy to tap it, and if they tap it, that means they'll just wait for the time to finish. Sort of like submitting. Do you give up? You give up? All right, I can keep hurting you. Do you want to give up?
Yeah.
And then the Thai philosophy is, I'm a fighter, you're a fighter. If I hurt you anymore, you might not be able to train for a few weeks, which that's going to infect your income.
Your
So
livelihood.
I'd rather do enough to win instead of having to hurt you too bad, so we can both make a living from what we do for our sport.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. There's a
That,
lot
that,
of lessons.
that gentleman etiquette.
Yeah, big time. Who are the top three Muay Thai fighters that you admire the most, over the course of time? Who are the top three?
Oh, so Raymond Dekkers from Holland.
Yeah.
He was the first Westerner to beat the Thais. He was my inspiration to try and every time I got homesick or scared, what would Raymond Dekkers do? Oh, he'd stay the course. So he inspired me to stay. My trainer Sang Tanoi, he inspired me to live the Thai style and to teach me all his little secrets and to help me become who I am now. And then there's another Thai gentleman who's passed who's named Nam Kabun. He was like the first Sanchai before Sanchai. He'd
Yes.
always have to give away a few kilos to make the fights even. And then they call him the technician because everything he threw was perfect. So he was another inspiration for me as well. So, and then there's so many Thais. The Thais, like look at Borkow and Yotsinglai and all these guys are amazing. So it's hard to
Really?
choose just three.
Yeah, it's hard. If you were growing up right now today, if you were a teenager today, do you think you would have gone into MMA?
Yes, definitely.
You would have, right?
Yeah, the money side of things. In Muay Thai, as much as I love the sport, there's no the prize money isn't that great, and then you're lucky to make 10,000 or 20,000. And then there's when you go to the fights, there's the beauty about UFC is that they promote the fighters' backgrounds, so you get to see where they live, what they drive,
Yeah.
what they do in their pastimes. Whereas a Muay Thai fight, you see two guys in the ring. There's red, there's blue. You
That's
don't know their backstory. You don't know anything. Whereas I think if the UFC machine could get behind like the Muay Thai fighters and then
Yeah.
just once people heard our stories, I think would be a lot more entertaining. And then you'd be able to support your fighters more as well because you know their backstories. all right, I know that he's got a daughter and a son, and he's doing it hard, and he really needs this win. Where the
Yeah.
other guy might be, you know what I mean? So yeah, and I think the backstory is a big part of it.
Well, when I look at the MMA guys, the one person that I would draw a parallel to in terms of their approach, professionalism, integrity, would be GSP, right?
Yes,
And you've met him a few times, right?
I was very fortunate to work with him for 2 weeks. I did a 10 sorry, I went to Canada and did a 10 seminar tour around the country, and then I had a couple of days left. And then the gentleman that who brought me to Canada, he goes, "Hey, what do you want to do for these last two days while you're here?" I said, "Oh, I have no idea." He
Yeah.
goes, "Are you a friend of? Do you like George? Do you want to meet Georges St-Pierre? He's only about an hour and a half drive away from here. I'd love to meet George." So the gentleman he rang for us, the trainer,
Yeah.
said, "You wouldn't believe it. Tomorrow's Muay Thai sparring day. Does John Wayne want to jump in and do some rounds with George?" I'm like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." So yeah, went to the gym. We did some rounds. It was really surreal, very amazing. I did really well, and then I went back to Australia. And approximately 4 to 5 months later, I get a phone call from Perez, GSP's trainer once again, saying, "Hey, George was so impressed with your spar that he'd love to bring you back to Canada so you guys can work together."
Yeah.
So I asked my wife, "Hey, can I go to Canada?" She goes, "Yeah, of course. You do
Of
what you want
course.
to do."
Yeah.
And so a couple of days later on the plane, and when I arrived in Montreal, Quebec, George was in the airport waiting for me. "Hey, John Wayne, I'm over here." It's like, "Holy crap, there's George St-Pierre." And then, yeah, we spent the next 2 weeks together, just side by side and doing pads
Beautiful.
and sparring. And as a martial artist, he was so appreciative. Everything I showed him, "Oh, thank you, sir, thank you." So, holy, that's amazing. He's so polite and so
He's
um,
humble. He's a
so
humble guy
humble,
like
so
you.
he's such a martial artist. And everything he showed him, he tried, and everything that there was no, "Oh no, I'm too good," or I'm. He was just the greatest person to work with. And then yeah, I was very fortunate to be present when he fought Johnny Hendricks, and get the win.
Yeah.
That's before he just retired. Before he fought
Bisping.
Bisping a few years later.
Yeah.
So it
What a
was very
man.
emotional because I got the training for 2 weeks, and then
Yeah.
he called his retirement. I was like, "Oh no, I was hoping I'd be able to train you again in the future, but if you retire, there goes my job."
Yeah.
So,
It's got to be surreal for you when you find out guys like GSP and Joe Rogan are big fans of yours, and you got the opportunity to be on Rogan a couple of times, right?
yes, twice. Yeah, Joe's the man.
He's the man, yeah.
I remember on the Twitter, someone started a get John Wayne on Joe Rogan hashtag, and then a couple of days passed, and then Joe replied, "I'd love to get John Wayne on the podcast. I think I'm a big fan." I'm like, "Whoa, no way!" So I shot Joe a DM saying, "Hey, this is John Wayne. I just seen your post. If I book a ticket to America, is it okay to come on the show?" He goes, "Yeah, for sure. Let's do this date." So yeah, flew to America, and yeah, it was very surreal. And what you see with Joe on TV is what you get in real life as well.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy and so humble and so inquisitive. Actually, on the podcast, I didn't realize at the time that he kept dissecting me. I noticed you saying this word a lot. What does this word mean to you when you say that?
Yeah.
So, oh, I never really thought about that before.
So
And then yeah,
interesting.
the way, yeah, it was so cool. And then I'm so fortunate that Joe's the man. So, and then so yeah, the first time that we got to work together, he said, "Hey, do you want to come to my house and we'll do a session, and then we'll have something to talk about on the podcast."
Wow.
So I got to his house. I got some pads. We'll do some drills. I showed him some of my punches and some kicks, and then we got to do a round sparring. And then I said, "Hey Joe, is there any chance you want to do a round?" He goes, "Oh, my back's pretty cooked right now, but sure, let's do a light round." And then he was a bit sore and rigid and couldn't really do too much. So we just had a little bit of a play. And then I happened to share it on YouTube. And then the amount of comments of people like disregarding Joe's skills and just talking down. And it's like, no, you don't understand. Joe had a sore back. Just the opportunity to move with him was like so
Yeah.
much fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a world title or a competition. It was just the opportunity to move with someone.
Exactly.
Uh, and then when I went on the podcast again, I said, "Oh, Joe, you didn't happen to see the comments on our video, did you?" He goes, "Oh, I never look at the comments, otherwise I'll
Yeah.
go crazy."
Yeah,
So
there's no
yeah,
point.
because yeah, people are crazy when they don't understand the rules. When it's just a light spar, it's just fun.
Well, it's a light spot, and also you're a 10-time world champion,
Ah,
right? And we've all got different skills. Talk to
yes.
me about, one of the things that I find so interesting is your journey as a dad, right? And with your three kids, your daughter Jazzy, she's now, tell us about her journey, and were you and your wife worried about her going into Muay Thai? You were like, she wants this at an early age. We're
Yeah.
100% behind you.
Like for sure. So Angie and I, we didn't want to push the kids. We owned a gym. We're in the gym every twice a day, teaching classes, and I was preparing for my fights. And then being in that environment, seeing other kids train, and Jazzy interest perked up. She goes, "Oh, do you mind if I start training?" Oh, for sure, start training. And then when she was approximately 7.5 or so, she finally came to us. Hey, is it okay if I start fighting? It's like, oh, you're only 7. Let's wait till you're 8. Let's wait till you're 8, and we'll see what happens. So when she turned 8, she goes, "I'm 8 now. Can I start fighting?" It's like, oh, she didn't forget. Um, sure. So we booked her a fight on our little promotion, and then she ended up getting a draw. And then yeah, all the crowd was really excited, and it was a really great fight. And both girls put on an exceptional display. And then the next day, the media in Australia, they'd never seen two 8-year-old girls fight before. So all of a sudden, I became the worst father in Australia for
Yeah,
approximately 2 weeks.
yeah.
Every single news outlet, newspaper, radio, TV, they all had me as this brutal father that threw his 8-year-old daughter into a ring and made her
Oh,
compete. And it's like, no, you
mad.
don't understand. There was all on her own accord. She just had our support. Um, and now Jazzy's gone on to have 35 Muay Thai fights. And now she's turned professional boxing, where she's 7 fights now. And she's been picked up by one of the biggest promoters here in Australia, No Limit, fighting on the
Wonderful.
same undercards as Tim Zhu and Nikita Zhu. So
Amazing.
yeah, big opportunities. And then she's really enjoying the boxing as well. And
But
then also
Wayne, I'm curious, how do you go from wearing a hat of being a dad to being a coach and her trainer? Because you've got to put two different hats on, right?
yeah, so you can't, you got to turn off the father, otherwise you'd throw the towel after the first kick that landed. And then because Jazzy trains so hard, and I can see how determined she is and how much she wants it, that inspires me to be more confident in her skills, because I know that she's not skipping corners, or she's not going out drinking or being reckless, or just trying to use her name. She's actually doing the work and putting in the hours. So that made me believe as a lot as well. And then when she fights, she fights with that pure instinct, where even when she's losing, she still wants to strive to try and get the win. So
Well,
yeah,
well,
it
she's
makes me very proud.
she's got an amazing pedigree from
Yeah,
you and Angie, right?
yeah.
Talk about Jesse James and his journey.
Yes. So my son Jesse, he's jiu-jitsu. We started jiu-jitsu in the gym in early 2020, and so he's been on the mats for 5 years now, and just absolutely addicted. He's actually going to America on the 3rd of May for 6 weeks. He turned 17 on the 2nd of May. Then the very next day, he's going to go to America with one of his friends. They're going to train in Texas for 4 weeks first to prepare for the Worlds, and then they'll fly to California. And my wife will meet him in California, and hopefully this will be his opportunity to become a world champion in jiu-jitsu. So very
That's amazing.
exciting.
That's amazing. You've got to be so happy and proud of them.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
And
and even though it's not Muay Thai, just the fact that he's chosen his own path, and he's
exactly.
striving his own path, so then he doesn't have to live in my shadow. Then he's making his own profile.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And look, they're very brave. Now, when you first met your wife, how long was it before she offered to spar with you?
Yeah, so I got to the gym. I moved to Vegas early 2002, and then Angie was overseas at the time, and then I kept looking at all these posters on the wall, and there was this beautiful girl with these gold medals and title belts, and she was stunning. And I was asking, who's this girl? Who's this girl? I keep seeing all the posters. Oh, that's Angie. She's
Yeah.
going to be here in a few days. She's going to be fighting on the same show as you in 3 weeks. So I went into the I think it was Sunday. So it was our day off from training. I went into the city in Vegas to go and look around the casinos. And when I came back, Angie was at the gym. And I introduced myself. I hit it with a g'day. G'day, Angie. I'm Wayne. And then as soon as I hit it with a g'day, we were just eye to eye for the next 6, 7 hours. We were inseparable. And then because we lived in the camp together, we're only like a few meters apart. Our rooms were a few meters apart. So every morning we have breakfast together, being in the gym all day together, go for dinner together. And then it didn't take long. Where about approximately 5 or 6 days later, we had our first date. And then I found out 6 weeks after we met that she was pregnant. So I found out she was pregnant on my birthday as well. Hey,
wow.
happy birthday. So Angie handed me the little stick. And I was trying to find the temperature. This temperature, this thermometer's broken. There's only little lines in it. And then that's when I found out I was having a baby. So, and that's little Jazzy. So Jazzy was made in America but born in Australia.
I love it, mate. I love it.
What happens in Vegas doesn't always stay in Vegas.
That's it. Well, you're proof of that. I love it. Talk to us a little bit about your journey, like transitioning from being a world-class champion to retiring, going into business, because leaving the sport behind had to be super hard for you.
Yes, I was almost 46 when I retired. I didn't want to retire.
Amazing.
I started when I was 11, all the way to 40. So 35 years in the sport, and then this is my only passion. My only dream was my next fight. So retiring 3 years ago. Yeah, I'm still sort of adjusting. It's so hard because you've had that one dream for so long. It's very hard to let go.
Yeah.
And then always in the back of the mind, maybe one more. But yeah, see. But I'm very lucky that the gym has been successful since I retired.
Yeah.
And then we incorporated the jiu-jitsu and the Muay Thai, and we have boxing in the gym now and MMA. So we have a large variety of different styles, which I discovered some people don't want to do jiu-jitsu, some people don't want to kick, some people don't want to do this. So the more variety that we offer people, the more clientele we have. So
and your gym is open to everyone, from professional fighters, but all the way through to family members and kids, right?
Yes, we have kids classes 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Sorry. Yeah, we have adults, we have everybody. So, and then we're very fortunate with my profile that a lot of people come from overseas and come to the gym.
Yeah.
Try and squeeze in a session or a PT or it's very, very humbling when people come from overseas and come to the gym. It makes everything worthwhile then.
No, I know, I can imagine. And then like you do a lot of seminars and talking engagements. Are you largely talking about mentality and what it takes to be a fighter?
With my speaking, I mainly talk about the living in poverty, moving to Thailand, the hurdles we had to make to try and just trying to inspire people to get into the arts and to show them that you can be at the bottom, but if you work your way up to the top, that it's very, very cool. So, Ben, it's a lot of hard work and a lot of pain and a lot of stitches.
Oh,
but if you can sacrifice and to overcome, to be on the TV and to make the magazines and to have people come up to you in the street and shake your hand, it makes every piece of pain worth it.
When did you release your book?
Only started this year, so it got released end of November.
Okay.
Just before the Christmas, and then I've personally signed approximately 250 books, all by myself, online, sending them all.
Beautiful.
I had to go and invest in one of the address printers because I was doing so many books that I couldn't do them by hand anymore. I did the first 80 by hand. I thought there must be an easier way. This sucks. Went out and invested the address labeler. And then, I got a little full-time gig now, so it's very fun.
I love that. Well, look, I'll put a link in how everyone can get a copy of that because it's a must-buy. I just want to do a few. Quick round rapid-fire questions.
Sure.
But what do you think? Not just for you, but in general, what's the most devastating strike in Muay Thai?
Probably the elbow. It's either going to cut or knock you out, or at least hurt. It hurts a lot.
One of the things I've noticed, if you don't mind, I love the technical side of this. I see a lot of guys throwing an elbow with, a clenched fist. And I've always felt that will tighten your arm up so it's not so fluid as opposed to a more relaxed technique. What's your advice?
Yeah, so my trainer Sengten, his advice was put your thumb on your shoulder, and that makes the tip of the elbow even sharper. So if I have my hand halfway through my chest, it's not quite as strong.
Yep.
But if I touch my shoulder, touch my shoulder, then it makes the blade stick out of the elbow, so it makes it a lot more dangerous, a lot more chance of scoring the cut. Then
I'll tell you a funny story. This shouldn't have happened, but I had a fight that was, let's say it was a street fight.
yep.
And I threw an elbow like that, but my thumb got stuck in my, and it dislocated.
Oh no!
So after that,
Oh,
I
no.
always thought to myself, if you're outside and you're not wearing gloves, tuck the thumb in a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Oh geez, it's rough. That's a tough day.
It was a tough day. Did you prefer pad work or sparring more?
Oh yeah, pretty much my life was pads. We spar maybe once or twice a week, but majority was twice a day, morning and night. And then pads could be up to 9 rounds, maybe 5 rounds in the morning, 9 rounds in the evenings. And then every day your goal was to hit harder and stronger than yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah, pads was definitely the main mechanism to try and maintain fitness.
If you could sit down and have dinner with any top 3 fighters, MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, past or present, who would you want to have dinner with?
Oh, definitely Deckers again. Deckers is again. Oh, geez. Probably uh, Namkabun. Namkabun was the man, and then maybe Songchai, the promoter, just to
Okay.
pick his brain about how he'll become so successful, and he's because he pretty much owned Lumpini and had fighters fighting all over the country and massive shows and all over the world, and he also had multiple international boxers, not Muay Thai fighters, but boxers that he also promote. So yeah, he was very successful and one of the greats in promoting. So he was like the Thailand Don King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was
Uh,
a gentleman. I've seen a couple of interviews with him, and I think in fact when he talks, his commentary, it's not biased. Like
yes.
if you asked him, okay, John Wayne Parr versus this guy, who's better? He would give you a clinical breakdown, right?
Yeah, and then he had like 2 or 3 TV stations that he'd run. So we had one night on Lumpini, one from another stadium, one from another stadium, and then he had maybe 1 or 2 radio stations that talk about Muay Thai all day, talk about the betting and the pricing and the last 5 fights, and like almost like a horse racing. It was pretty much identical to horse racing.
Yeah.
And then pretty much dominated the Muay Thai newspaper. And then at one stage, the Thai army believed Songchai was getting too powerful because he
Mm.
had too many champions, too many superstars. He controlled all of the pretty much TV and radio when it came to the sport. So they took away a little bit of his power. And then he was doing okay, but yeah, it was yeah, just jealousy, I think, because he was
Yeah.
too successful. They didn't get the promoters the chance to promote at the big stadiums as well as he did.
Yeah, it's a shame. What a great man. Well, look,
Yeah.
Wayne, I've got to just tell you this. I've been such a fan of yours for such a long time. And it's a privilege for me to sit down and talk today. And hopefully I'll come see you when you're in Singapore next. You're in
Hey,
Singapore at the end of the month, right, mate?
hopefully, yes.
All
Hopefully,
right.
I have a Muay Thai seminar during the day, and then a speaking arrangement at night, talking about my recently released book, living in Thailand, fighting all over the world, and obtaining 10 world titles. So yeah, lots of fun.
An absolute pleasure. Wayne, thank you.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for the chat.
Thanks, brother.